my daughter's computer now, and she didn't have it, so we had a little trouble installing it.
All right. Well, my name's Weta McDaniel, and I'm taking a class at South called Educational Media. And you're going to have to back up, baby. And one of our assignments for our blog post for this week is to come up with an assignment that he should have given us, and then we have to actually do the assignment. So since this whole class is about how to use technology in the classroom, and smart boards, Promethean boards, Skype, Twitter, blogs, all these different types of things that I had never even heard of before I took the class. So I thought it would be good to actually talk to teachers who were actively in the classroom and find out if they use these type things and how well it works, if they're exposing their students to it, or if their administration will even let them. So I have a few questions to ask, if you're all right with that.
Actually, it's great because this time last week I was in Philadelphia at a technology conference with 19,000 other teachers.
It was IFTE?
Yeah, ISTE.
ISTE?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you ever go to one, I highly recommend it. It's a great conference.
Okay. Oh, and also, the assignment I came up with, I'm requiring the students to actually speak to someone who's in their field, and I'm going into secondary social sciences. So that's why I needed somebody who is in there, and I thank you so much for answering my call.
Oh, no problem. I understand how you have to get out there sometime, so I'm actually finishing my EDD in secondary social sciences curriculum instruction.
Okay.
So I'll be teaching teachers hopefully pretty soon.
Well, that'd be fantastic. I start not next semester, but the next, in the fall, into my actual methods courses, my actual teaching how to teach things. So I'm getting excited about that. All right, my first question is, do you know what a technologically literate teacher is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what's your definition?
All right, well, especially with people like my age, I won't tell you my age, but we're up there. We are technology immigrants. We are not natives. We are immigrants, so we're having to learn as we go. So for a technology literate teacher, that is someone who does know the basic language and verbiage of technology and how to integrate that into the classroom.
Okay. Now, do you consider yourself to be a tech literate teacher?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. And what types of technology do you use in the classroom yourself?
A little bit of everything. My class is structured through Edmodo. So we use Edmodo as kind of like Blackboard or CT for colleges. So we use that as a background. We do a lot of online stuff. We have probably 6 or 7 30 computer labs at school.
Wow.
We have labs which are computers on wheels. I have approximately 5 or 6 iPods in the classroom that we can use. Plus our students have smartphones. For those that have like smartphones and iPhones, we can incorporate their use as well. So I try to pull in as much technology into the classroom as I can. Probably if I did a study, my classroom would be roughly about 75% paperless. We've only ever used paper. That's about it. So I try to do as much technology as we can. Edmodo, blogs, Twitter, occasionally we'll Skype with friends of mine I've met through the years who teach in other states. We'll Skype with their classrooms. So we do as much as possible.
Okay. Now, you said that you use the students have smartphones and iPhones in the classroom.
Right.
How does the administration feel about that? I know where my kids go to school, they're not even allowed to bring cell phones, period, to school.
Right. And that was the policy of our school system several years ago. And I taught with our board chairman. We're very lucky that our board is in and out of our schools. And so I taught with the board chairman and the board member for my district. And I was like, look, we have 1,000 kids on average in each one of our high schools. Probably 75-80% of those kids are going to have a phone.
Right.
Instead of fighting the situation, because I told them, I said, I'm tired of every day, 100 times a day going, put up your cell phone. Take your cell phone off the desk, turn it off, put it in your pocket. incorporating that technology. So instead of fighting it, use it to our advantage. Well, they likely agreed and asked me to write a proposal for incorporating the technology. So I wrote them a proposal for incorporating cell phones in schools. And they accepted a little bit of it. So for us to actually use our cell phones in the classroom, we have to write it into our lesson plan.
Right.
So we write it into our lesson plan, then, they're allowed to use it. When an administrator or a board member or something comes into the classroom, they see students with their cell phones, and instead of, jumping on them for having the technology out when they know they're not supposed to, they can pick up a folder off our desk, look at the lesson plan, and go, okay, well, she's written it in here, so they're using it for the proper usage.
Okay. Does your class use blogs?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Do you have a class blog that you put like classroom information on, and they have individual blogs that they post like their assignments to, or how do you work it?
Well, with sort of the classrooms that you come out, until this year I had used a wiki-based classroom before. I moved to Edmodo this year, so I'm making that transition, but in the past their assignments would have been turned in through either Google Docs or the wiki spaces.
Okay.
But for blogs, I've been using those for about a half a dozen years now. With my government class, they have a weekly article or event or video, some assignment that I require them to participate in that's very particular to our topic, and they have to respond to that via the blog.
Okay.
So that's been the largest use of the blog.
Okay. Do you think the blogs are beneficial to your students, and how do you explain the use of them to parents?
I've never really had an issue with parents, mainly because our class blog is locked. No one from the outside can see it.
Okay.
Only the students that are invited or request permission to participate are allowed. So no one can Google search it or search for it and find it. So the parents really don't have an issue. And I've explained that like the first or second year that I had students, and it's just kind of filtered through the system for the years, and very rarely will I find a parent now that I have to explain that to. But for the students, for them, they blog in several classes. So my class is not the only class that they will blog in. So they understand the blogging process. And I require them, I want to see proper grammar, make sure your grammar's right, your spelling is right, answer the question, and do so in a respectful manner. Because I also require them to respond to each other, so they can, they'll answer my post, and then they have to respond to each other. And depending on the topic, some of them can become very, heated topics. And I've had some students who will, they will politically engage with each other. They will go after each other. And I think it's great because a lot of times, things that have happened on that blog, they will bring it up in class, and that will be the entire classroom discussion right there. The whole lesson will build from their questions and comments.
Okay. Do you have a PLN or a personal learning network?
Yes, I do. I have a rather large one. Not only, if you looked at my Twitter account, I have several hundred that I follow. Plus, I also have my Edmodo PLN that you're able to do through that. And then I also have some other blogs I'm following that are part of my PLN. So yes, I have a PLN. It's been great, and I'm continuing to build it.
That's tiny right now, but it's building.
It would grow. It would grow. This is last week. I think I picked up maybe about 60 or 70 followers.
Wow.
It's that conference. And that's the greatest thing about that conference is that a lot of the people in my PLN, we were able just to sit around in the Bloggers Cafe or different places around the conference center and talk to each other. One of my followers, we follow each other, I don't think he ever went to a session, but yeah, he got so much out of the conference by just making those contacts and connections.
Okay. Do you think your students should be taught about PLNs and taught how to utilize them?
Yes, I do. We're teaching students for a job market or for the 21st century. I mean, what does 21st century skills mean? We don't know. We can say we have a definition now, but who knows what our 10th graders are going to find when they get to college, or in 7 years when college, what they've learned in high school is going to be outdated.
Right.
Those freshmen in college, by the time they're juniors, their freshman level classes will be outdated. So, we've got to figure out ways, not so much to teach our students, but teach our students how to find and develop thinking skills on their own.
I agree with you there. That is so important. Teach them how to learn so they can be lifelong learners.
Exactly. We don't need to teach them content knowledge, so to speak, as greatly as we do how to figure it out on their own.
Right. If you were allowed to use any type of technology that you could in your classroom, what would you use that you might not be able to use now?
I would love to have 35 iPads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the wish now. My biggest class this next year is going to be 39. So maybe even go 40 iPads. Right, exactly.
Wow, you're going to have a room full.
Yes, because our rooms were only built to hold 30. So, yeah, but I'll make do with it. Done it before, I'll do it again. But I would love to have 40 iPads. If I could get that, paperless, we definitely would be paperless. There would be no need to take textbooks around. More and more school systems I'm seeing are going to e-books. So, if we had iPads, the world would be unlimited to us.
All right, and my last question is, if you could tell, like me, as a future history teacher, anything or your one pearl of knowledge that you would like to pass on to other teachers, what would you say?
Maintain your passion. If you're passionate enough about what you're teaching and about your career and just history in general, whether it be history, psychology, government, whatever you're teaching, if you're passionate, the students will see that, they'll pick up on it. You will become a lifelong learner. They're going to learn from that too. So that's I think that would be my pearl number one, is just keep your passion and be a lifelong learner. Number two, I think would be to teach students. Don't teach the content. Don't teach to the test. Teach the students. If you have permission to teach the students, then they're open to learning